I'd like to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people, the traditional custodians of this land, and pay respect to the elders past, present and future. This is the land my ancestors found and invaded. While my ancestors arrived in the mid-1800s, they still interacted with the Aboriginal people from a colonial perspective. I grew up on the land in the traditional custodianship of the Darug people, who named my nearby city Parramatta. The Europeans did not replace the name but altered it slightly, just enough to signify possession. Now it is called Parramatta. The emblem of the Parramatta City Council depicts Aboriginal people spearfishing in a boat, which is a traditional practice. While this appears to align the history of Parramatta with the purpose of the Parramatta City Council, the parallel and sometimes conflicting existence of the two cultures identified here proceeds to mere tokenism, much like the urban sprawl that devours Parramatta now, relegating Aboriginal symbolism and culture to art, letterheads and heritage sites. I proudly attended Macarthur Girls High School, in the birthplace of mass Aboriginal land dispossession by colonials who applied to own the land to the colonial authorities, who had claimed this entire country in the name of their king without any consultation with those who had lived here and were connected to this land for 40,000 years prior to European invasion. This is the sad legacy of Parramatta's land possession. The closest I have come to an appreciation of the Aboriginal experience post-invasion is when I was engaged in a custody dispute with my ex-husband over our children. The day after my first court hearing as part of an Indigenous cultural course, we viewed Rabbit Proof Fence. In the opening scene where the children are taken from their mothers by the authorities, I identified to the point of sobbing and having to leave. After calming down, I returned, and throughout the viewing I was overwhelmed with the finiteness of this feeling for me. For Aboriginal people, culture-wide, this was an enduring loss. It's a place where colonial and Aboriginal heritage is preserved side by side. This park in my neighbourhood contains a memorial with colonial names on it. A similar memorial sits simultaneously with Aboriginal names for the same places. Both remind us of the past. Gaboo-Darra is a place that encapsulates heritage and nature, overlooking urbanisation. Now my son attends a school where cultural awareness and Aboriginal practices are taught daily. He respects and loves Aboriginal culture and embraces it as truth. Despite my privileged ignorant heritage and its sad consequences, I move forward aware and will not let my brothers and sisters stand alone or my children be ignorant to the truth or forget how our country was formed.